home.
Welcome.
Here we are once again, another episode of Living Well Together.
Big life.
In a tiny town.
Small town.
Littlest town.
We are so excited about this week's episode.
Well, we've got a long timer. Like you're a long timer around here.
I am.
Well, longer than we are. Mm-hmm. And so we've got with us today Tony Cherpeski, our neighbor, and the owner of Cherp Home Inspections right here in fabulous Fairborn, Ohio.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah, thanks for joining us. And so,
We're so excited.
What do we want to know first? I'll let you lead on some of these things because if I go down some of these places, we may never get out.
Well, one of the things that I just wanted to share was I have appreciated Tony's involvement in the purchases of our properties. Personally, we didn't know Tony when we got our house, but our kids have all used your services, including Grace and Graham twice, right, Grace or Graham? But we had a situation a couple of years ago where I just called you up. I just wanted to have our house looked at. We weren't planning to sell it.
An opinion.
We just wanted you to go through it with a fine-tooth comb and let us know what underlying things you could find. And it was like a 30-page report, so in-depth. I love that you didn't have there was never any ulterior motive. Like when you're going through, it's like, this is the truth. This is what I'm seeing. You're just reporting it as it is.
Our house has been there for a minute, so we just wanted to go through.
1988.
In other words, we weren't selling our house, but that's kind of a lot of what you do, right? Is newer home or transition home inspection stuff.
Real estate transactions.
Yes.
You know, that's probably 90% of my business. And it's really just an evaluation of a home. You know, inspection is just kind of the term they give us, but I'm really evaluating where the home is as of that day. So it's just a bundle of facts. And how those facts are handled is really up to you.
Okay, and it was thorough, like she said.
It was thorough. Like you had
amount of information.
Photos in the crawl space and then of the roof and, all the things that we could see what you saw.
Right.
I just appreciated it so much.
Yeah, it makes it nice. And then now do you do any of the contract repair?
No.
See, that's the other thing. There's no skin in the game.
No.
He's going to give you a completely honest evaluation of here's what I see and here's what needs managed, but somebody else gets paid for doing that.
Right, exactly. Yeah. And you've been doing it for how long, Tony?
20 years.
20 years. How did you get started in it?
I lost feeling in my hands.
Oh.
And it didn't find out till, last couple of years that I had a broken neck.
Oh my gosh.
So, but the whole time it was carpal tunnel.
Yeah.
There were some nerve issues with the hands, and I just couldn't do work anymore, with my hands. Right. So I had to find something different.
What were you doing before that?
I was actually working in kitchens. I was a chef for a little while.
Wow. Okay.
So it just, you just become I couldn't even feel the pans that I was taking out of the oven. Oh my God. I could just pull plates out of the oven. It just, nothing,
That is wild.
And then you transition to, when I started feeling my hands again, well, those habits continued. So grab the pot. Yeah, the same pot I've been using for years. Grab the pot of that lid that's hot and threw it across the room, screamed like a little girl. Kids thought it was funny.
Yeah.
I didn't think it was so funny. Yeah. No, I was like, what was that?
Yeah.
It's never happened in forever. But yeah, it just, that came around and, it was going through magazines. It said, become a home inspector. And I'm like, okay, so done a lot of do-it-yourself projects, and this and that, and gave yourself knowledge on certain things. So went back to school. So went back to school 9 months later, started a business. Yeah. And that's how it happened.
But you got a brain that figures that kind of stuff out, though.
Exactly.
I mean, your mind works in a way that's problem solving. Is that fair to say?
Yes.
Yeah, just watching you operate, it seems to me like you've got a brain that wants to solve problems all the time.
Yeah, it's just a collection of clues.
Yeah.
Oh, I love that. Oh, I
Super
love that.
cool. Chefing. I want to know more about chefing. I didn't know that.
Yeah, I had spent a lot of time.
Just when you think you know a guy.
14. So I started at Arby's actually at 14, and it seemed like everywhere I went, something would happen with management and management would fail. And then I would take on a role. So I don't know, I've probably been in 12 to 14 different kitchens during that process, but
wild.
All the time, it ended up being, part of that kitchen manager routine. And I hated calling people to fix things. Yeah. So I would just fix them.
Got it.
So that's sort of where it started.
Yeah. So because you had to wait for them to get there. Of course, they didn't have the parts. This and that. So I would just troubleshoot, diagnose, and and take care of the equipment that was there.
Okay.
That's phenomenal. That is a gift, really. And so then you got to take that and turn it into your very own business.
Yeah.
How did you get your first client?
I knew some realtors that lived across the street.
Okay.
So kind of got in with them, and that's how it started. It actually started with Polaroids. So,
Polaroid pictures?
The cameras were Polaroids.
Yep.
So I would collect the Polaroids and put them in with the binder.
With the report for them. Oh my
Yeah.
gosh, that's wow.
So yeah.
Wow.
So that's how
Yes,
fast
that lets us
technology
know.
has changed as far
Yes.
as cameras go. So we went from Polaroids to, digital cameras, and now we
Right.
just use phones.
Yeah.
Got it.
And-
Drones? Do you have any drone footage?
No,
Not yet.
It's a slippery slope. You got FFA regulations and things to kind of deal with, and I just I would be the guy that you fly the drone, and then the next door neighbor's sunbathing.
Yeah.
And that person's a little upset because there's
Right.
something flying over top.
Yeah.
And then you hear a shell going into the chamber.
Well, and really here, because we're so close to the base, I do have a drone, and there's a no fly zone.
Correct.
I don't think we can fly it here.
Yeah.
So you would have limited anyways.
Right. And it's just, if I'm going to do something, I'm going to do something all the way. So, there's too much time involved in getting that prepared for the rest of the schedule I already have.
Yeah. How much time do you need from the time somebody calls you to come out and take a look at it to the time that you're able to go there? What's your lead time?
Usually it takes me 90 minutes at the property.
Okay.
So that's the collection process, and I'm usually about 5 days out as far as scheduling. And then I wake up around 3-4 o'clock in the morning to do reports of the following day. Because
3 or 4 in the morning?
That's correct. No one's awake from that time to 7. No one needs
Quiet
me.
time.
No one needs me.
Yeah.
Are you drinking coffee?
Always.
I love it. I love it. So what's the most surprising thing you've ever found in a home
Well,
inspection?
that's good.
Raccoon in the attic with her babies.
Alive.
Yes, and chasing me.
Mad.
I have no idea how I did not go through the ceiling. And I went down the ladder backwards. So head first down the hole.
Oh, dang.
Yeah.
Well, because were you on rafters then in the attic?
Yeah.
And so you were like trying to scurry and
coming. He's coming.
Yeah.
Or she's coming.
Yes,
Right.
because those are her babies too.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
That would have been a
That
surprise.
was-
You had no clue.
No clue. No clue. Just looking, looking for clues.
Doing your thing, yeah.
And I get to the soffit where the rafter plates come down this way. And if it kind of drops down, levels out.
Yeah.
And that's where she made her nest.
Oh, wow.
And you see that flashlight and then a bunch of eyes.
Saw the eyes and then this and
Yeah.
out.
Down and out.
Yeah. That
Holy
was
moly.
that was
that's
very
funny.
early in my career. So now
Yeah.
there's an odor.
Oh.
So there's it's almost like a sweet smell because they eat berries.
Oh,
So they're
interesting.
Yeah, so their poop is
Yes.
sweet smelling. So when you open that attic hatch and you smell it, you're like,
Dang
So
it.
you know they're there.
yeah, or have been there.
Yes.
One of the two. But yeah, that's the
They are so destructive.
yeah.
Holy
They
moly.
are.
Yeah.
They are so
We have a
destructive.
raccoon that keeps trying to come. He's not in our attic.
It comes up on the
thankfully,
deck
but
to just
Yeah.
drain the bird feeder all the
Yeah.
time.
yeah,
Yeah.
just whatever
He
it
may
can
go
get
for a
into.
long swim.
And we have a sliding glass door, and so I'm usually sitting there reading at the end of the day. He'll just come up to that window, Tony, and he just stares at me. He doesn't even run away.
I know.
Like he's not even scared. I'm like, get out of here.
They're very inquisitive. They really
They
are.
are. Yeah, it's kind of like he was just popping in to say hey.
Yeah. Well, the brother-in-law used to raise them. So,
Raise
yeah.
them?
Yeah.
Jeff?
Like
Yeah.
as
I'm not shocked by that.
No.
We should have him in here with you.
Yeah.
well, they could have both been here.
Brother-in-law, if anyone can live off the land, he can.
Oh, really?
So if the whole grid shuts down, I'm glad he's my neighbor.
Oh,
Amen.
I was gonna
You know
say,
what?
yeah.
There's so much truth to that. And we're so glad you're our neighbor. Your skill set is amazing. Like I said, you're a problem solver. That's easy to watch. But are there cows on your property? Mm-hmm. Are there any other animals that you're raising?
We have goats. And
Yeah.
Oh, you do have
pig.
goats?
Yeah.
Right.
oh, I
The
didn't.
goats are really, all of our animals really don't have a purpose. They're
Yeah.
really just pets.
Yeah.
Okay. So
Until
the
they're
cows-
not.
Right. Yeah. The cows, I mean, we kind of raise our own meat.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, but the goats are just comics.
Okay.
Yeah. If you're having a bad day, just watch them.
Oh, really? So do you guys collect goat's milk or anything like that?
Nothing.
Nothing.
You do nothing.
Do they mow the lawn for you?
No.
Not even.
Because I thought that was was one of the good things about goats.
Goats don't really care for grass. They care for
don't?
leaves.
They eat all the other
sheep,
stuff.
Sheep will eat grass.
Oh, the sheep.
Yeah, but they'll eat if they need to, but
Right.
Yeah.
they don't.
They'll eat thistles before they eat grass.
Right.
Oh
Yeah.
my gosh.
They always start with the garbage first, and then if the turf is left, they're kind of bummed out.
And then we got a little pig. We got Penny the pig, which is a little Vietnamese pig.
How big is it?
It's about 130 pounds, but it shouldn't be more than 80.
Oh, she's well fed.
Oh, it's a little rounder than.
Little slanty eyes because her face is so fat. But
Oh my goodness.
It
So were
made
you
me think
born
of-
here in
I was.
Fairborn?
I was.
Grown up here? Okay.
Yep.
And I know you've been connected to at least youth bowling. Are you a PBA guy? Are you a professional bowler?
No.
Well, how do you
could be.
become a professional bowler? Because
You
we
just
know.
You just apply. So really, yeah, all you got to do is apply. But back then, it was a little bit different.
Okay.
But I went a couple stints with the tour, but it just didn't stick.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't like being that far away all the time. And the crowd I was with just really wasn't a very good crowd.
Okay.
So it just wasn't a good fit for me.
Sure.
So I just stayed around here, did amateur things.
I love that. Can you show the camera your ring? Because this is, I don't know if we can do a close up on that or not. Graham.
It's a 300 ring,
That's, yes.
How many do you
Tell
have?
us,
85.
85,
You had 85?
300 games.
85, yeah.
85, 300 games. And that's a perfect game for those who are still learning about bowling. And I mean, unusual.
Not with the people I'm around.
In certain circles.
Yeah,
To
in
us,
certain
it's
circles.
like-
In certain circles.
Yeah,
Yeah.
for me, keeping it out of the gutter is the objective
yeah,
of the
it's
day.
just,
Not even how many pins you get, just don't gutterize it.
Well, to put it in perspective, my son is 23 and he has 46, I believe.
Oh, wow. Okay.
So now there's a race to 100.
Wow.
So whoever gets to 100 first, it's just
You and
really, it's
you
just-
and your son are on the race.
yeah.
Okay.
But he's going to win.
How many you got?
10.
Yeah, Graham is quite a bowler, and actually we know Tony mostly through Graham
Yeah.
because you coached, right?
Yes.
So
yeah.
Graham was on the bowling team here at Fairborn High, and then that's where you guys connected.
Kind of. Yes. It was a youth leagues.
Okay.
Little left-hander that had some talent, but just
So he didn't have somebody that could teach him as a left-handed bowler.
lefties are they're not around very often.
Okay.
Okay.
They're
So,
special.
Yes, we need a helmet sometimes.
Gosh.
But it's just they're just different. They just have a feel for certain things.
Okay.
It's fun to watch. I got to admit, for the recreational bowler or the person
Oh
who
my
doesn't bowl,
gosh.
but for recreation, to
Yes.
watch people who actually know what they're doing is magical.
Yeah.
It is magical.
It's like golf. If you watch somebody who actually knows what
Yeah.
they're doing or whatever,
Yeah.
but to see people bowl who are bowling well is it's an art form.
Right.
Because you guys were in a league together, or you have been.
Mm-hmm.
And so we would go on Friday nights and catch the games. And
Yeah.
it was really fun. And you could tell when when they had those really close 300 games, everybody just kind
Well,
of
there's
like.
etiquette that we
there's-
didn't know.
Right.
about.
We didn't know
Like, don't
about the
talk.
etiquette.
You know, there's certain things
And don't
that-
say good luck.
And everybody
Is it-
gets a high five.
Everybody gets a high five?
Everybody, yes or no?
Sometimes, yes.
It's a constant bump.
Well-
you missed a spare, bump. You get the spare, bump. It's a congratulations or a, sorry about your luck bump.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But they're just like groups. And as these groups are growing up, when I was doing the youth leagues, that the ones that were getting real good, I would not give them 5 until they got 8 strikes in a row. I said, you got to give me a reason to put my hand out there.
Really?
gonna-
Okay.
Withholding love is it's called tough parenting.
Everybody gets, participation trophy, but you're going to have to earn.
Okay.
this.
The
that's-
high five.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I love that though.
So,
But we've seen you coach too. I mean, we've been in the bowling alley when you are giving people pointers or even grace. I mean, it's,
yeah.
yeah.
A couple of 2 words, and then all of a sudden she's
there's an
back on
eye.
track.
He'll catch yours as a problem solver.
Yes.
Here's what I
Yes.
see. Do it this way, and something gets better on the media.
Yeah. This drives my wife crazy because I know what everybody's doing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
At all times. So I don't solicit anything. I just don't walk up to me,
Yeah.
But if someone will come to me, they're
Yeah.
like, okay, what am I doing? And I'll tell them, and they're like,
Right.
you haven't even watched me throw a shot. I said, yeah, I have.
Oh,
Yeah,
I've been
I've
observing
seen
you
it.
this whole
Yeah.
time.
And I can do it over the phone.
Oh, wow.
Really?
What are you leaving? Blah, 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 blah. Okay. So what spare conversions are you leaving?
Right.
So then I know what the ball's.
So there's the science. It's physics.
Wait, so
It's all
you're
physics.
saying they can tell you on the phone, you don't even have to watch their form to
Correct.
know what they're doing?
Correct.
Oh my gosh, that's amazing.
Yep.
You're like magic.
I wouldn't call it that. Just glue taker.
He's cursed with a gift.
No, that's incredible. Like,
Yeah.
because you have to then see that in your mind too, right?
Right.
What they're doing.
But if it just, it just gets filed somewhere in my brain. Mm-hmm. It just once, he's the same way.
Yeah.
I could tell you 3 things that he does wrong all the time, but that's fine. Yeah.
But Graham is very coachable too.
Yes,
So,
he is.
Yeah,
That's 100%
Yes, he is.
true. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
That's helpful. He's getting embarrassed.
he is getting embarrassed. I can see him. So this is
Camera's
the
not
first time
pointed in, though.
Graham has actually talked on the microphone
Actually turned it on.
for our for this podcast.
Usually all we hear
So,
is heavy breathing.
so next time maybe we'll get him on camera too. But we didn't want to.
Pushy.
So coaching through youth league. Were you
Yeah.
married when you were coaching?
Yes.
Where did you find her?
Where did I find
Or where did she find you? Yeah.
We've been dating since, I was 13, she was 14.
Oh my
Okay.
gosh.
So it was at band
So
camp.
romantic. Band camp. That's how
At one time at band
One
camp.
time at band camp, yeah.
And so been married how long?
25 years.
Okay. And I know there's JT, there's Logan, and there's
That's it.
no more.
Just the 2 boys.
Right.
Yep.
And now they're bringing daughter-in-laws into the clan.
Correct.
Okay.
Yeah. So now they all have their own little circle of families.
Nice. And everybody's still staying tight in the area. Nobody's left the area.
No, they're all pretty close.
I love that.
Does somebody have chickens?
Jeff does.
Okay.
Yeah. So yeah,
And
he has
ducks and peacocks. And
Oh yeah, the peacocks. That's what I can
used to
hear.
have guineas and you used to have it all down.
Oh really?
Yeah, ducks, geese.
Yep.
guineas.
And he's a trapper. He'll snag a coyote like that. Yeah.
Well, I like hearing the peacocks at
Okay.
nighttime.
Yeah.
At the dusk time.
I like it when we have company at our house and they don't know that's a peacock sound. Like they've never heard a peacock
Yeah.
and they're like, "Oh my gosh, somebody's being murdered over there in the woods."
Oh, it's close because the peacocks are kind of the kind of the watchdogs
Yes.
of the chickens. So they'll do those typically when they see a predator or something coming close.
Yep.
so
It's
that's
usually
an
a hawk.
alert.
Yeah, it's usually a hawk or something.
Okay. That's fascinating.
Yep.
I want to go back to band camp. What instrument did you guys play?
I played trumpet. She played clarinet.
Okay. Do you still play?
No.
No.
Yeah. Last
Just curious,
the last,
I just
last one
wondered.
went down. I was pretty good at that too. I didn't need music. I
Yeah,
could
see,
hear
you
it.
thought that was
Really?
a peacock sound. Dude. You're playing trumpet.
I could hear it and then play it.
Okay. Any other instruments like that? Piano or anything like that?
No. We did a lot of brass instruments. So we would trade instruments between a few people, this and that, and just drive the band director crazy. But
Yeah.
but it was trumpet mostly.
You have quite a mixed genre of music
Yeah.
that you like too. Folk, country, and then what's rock? Crosby stops.
Well,
does that
Crosby, Stills, and Nash.
Gotcha.
It's kind of the older
70s,
rock. Yeah,
yeah.
the 70s rock up until when they stopped using guitars.
Oh yeah,
It just
sad times.
there's no soul to it. It just you can feel the emotions through those instruments, and when they get rid of those instruments, you can't do that.
Yeah, synthesized music
Yeah.
is not the same.
No, it's not.
Not even close.
Can't get to it.
So you were talking a little bit about your humble beginnings and some life struggles. Do you want to chat about that at all?
Sure.
Yeah, I'd love to hear. I'd love to hear the details behind that. That was
Anytime somebody says, "I'm
Intriguing.
an open book
Yeah.
and you can ask me anything," you're in deep water, buddy.
Humble beginnings. I mean, mom and dad were not well off. They did where they could make Christmas happen, but they always had a good time.
yeah. I love that.
So, alcohol played a big role at a young age, and it kind of continued. And there's really a decade where I really don't even know what happened.
Really?
Yeah,
Because of alcohol.
In your life personally?
alcohol, some drug abuse, and certain things.
Yeah.
So, and there was a certain point in my life where I really didn't care if I lived or died. And once you get past and understand why you feel that way, you have a different perspective in life. And I usually say any day after 25 for me is actually a blessing. So every time I wake up, it's I'm going to give you everything I got,
Yeah.
all I got, because this is all bonus from this point. So a lot of the people I was hanging around with back then are not alive, or they are in jail.
Right.
Okay.
One of the two. So those people, those constituents are have passed on, but you find different people in different groups.
Yeah.
And there was one guy Actually, there were a few guys. But one guy looked at me and he goes, you need to surround yourself with successful people if you want to be successful. So you need to see who's around you. If that's not the group you want, then you need to think about who you want to be around. Wow. So that's kind of where I perceive myself. Okay, if I think about certain things and I make it, you're going to make it happen. So it was a life-turning event.
Wow.
You know, I think it was 2003. That was the last time I drank. And I had to really take perspective on what I had at that moment, you know, because I was really taking life for granted at that point. And, you know, still had 2 young kids. Logan was just born.
Wow.
And so it was just like, it's not really for me, it's for them type thing, you know, but you have to do it for yourself.
Exactly.
So it's kind of like this balancing act that you have to have. So that's kind of where I came from. Yeah. So, and at one point I'm living in my car, you know, couch surfing, have a home, had 0 money.
And this is you before you were married to Cindy?
Correct. Okay. Yeah. Because we had a breakup, just like you know most young couples do. So we had a breakup, and that's what she told her friend. He's either going to be dead or in jail. So, and she was right. Yeah. You know, she was right. So,
but somebody made mention of the fact that you got to change your thinking.
You do.
They saw something in you.
Sure. Yeah. Yeah. She was one of them. Yeah. Yeah. You know, and a lot of people were. You know, Dave Fleming was another one at the Bowling Alley.
Okay.
He was a big, you know, contributor to this too.
Okay.
You know, this turnaround. You know, but yeah.
Yeah. Was it one conversation that changed your mindset, or was it multiple people just pouring into you?
It was multiple people's.
Yeah.
You know, it was Dr. Peter Angelo when I'm sitting there.
Nice.
You know,
yes.
and he was he's like, you can't do this.
Yeah.
He's like, you have so much potential. Yeah. You know, to be somebody. And I realized that what he said to me wasn't a compliment. You know, he was actually telling me, if you got potential and you're not sticking to it, then you're wasting your talents. Yeah. Yeah. So. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, you just have to listen sometimes. Yeah.
That's hard for people, especially if they just want to go their own way.
True. Yep.
So something like the scales kind of came off your eyes and your ears. Yeah. And do you think that that's one of the reasons why you decided that you wanted to coach and help young people and kind of help them in their process of growing up and making? That's all part of the struggle process. You know, I was still kind of, you know, you're always going to battle this, you know, I always make jokes about it, you know, but these kids, you know, of that generation, you know, they were extremely helpful. You know, they didn't know they were helping. You know, there were families there that we've mended to didn't understand what they were doing. They probably still don't. Yeah. You know, but there's, you know, a couple of families in, you know, in my head that I'm so thankful that we cross paths because, you know, they've helped us out more than anybody I know. Yeah. Yeah. And they didn't even know. They didn't know. Yeah. They do eventually. Yeah. You know, they're like, you were who? I was like, yeah. That's amazing. Yeah. So do you kind of subscribe to that pay it forward philosophy? All the time. Yeah. All the time. The more you give, the more you get. Yeah. And then it's that ripple effect. It just keeps going on. Yeah. That's amazing. Amazing. I love it. Well, thank you for sharing that. I know that's kind of a personal. It is. Yeah. Personal situation, but it can also help other people that might hear this too. It's like you don't have to be stuck where you think that you are at. No. There's Act 2, Act 3, Act 4, Act 5. There's so many different acts to life. Right. Yeah. You just got to get past the next one. Just keep on going. Yeah. Yeah. And forgiveness of yourself and the choices that you've made is so big. You have to own it, though. You have to own it, though.
But you picked somebody who could stand by you, like through thick and thin.
Sure. Yeah.
I would not want to make her mad.
No. No, and I have. A few times. Yeah.
I would not want to be on the receiving end of that. But, and to be fair, that's how you know you've married the right person. Right. We did a bit earlier in the week or last week. We talked about relationship stuff
on Saturday.
Request, yeah.
Right. Yeah. We'll probably be doing a retake of that, right, Graham?
I don't know. I think we should just let it ride.
Okay. Yeah. We were talking about relationships and our marriage. And
we actually had a request. Somebody said, "Hey, will you do a show about this?" Okay. Yeah. And so we thought, okay, yeah, we could.
The timing just wasn't the best. Right. So it might be very raw, real, Terry and Lisa, or we might just do a redo.
Okay.
The reason I'm missing big clumps of hair is because we should have done it a different day.
It's Don't live for you. Sometimes it doesn't grow back.
Yes. Well, it's much easier to give advice than it is to take advice sometimes. But the evidence would suggest that not only have you turned all those things around, you are maximizing every day.
Sure.
Yeah.
Every single day. And I've never heard, even with that history, which I didn't know all of, I've never heard anybody in real estate or anybody in the home game or anybody in just general Fairborn population say anything other than positive things.
Yeah. Yeah, we hear
About your
such
business or
amazing
your family
things.
or
Oh,
whatever.
Tony? Oh my
It's
gosh.
over here.
Oh, Cherp? Oh my gosh. It's all good.
It's important. It is.
Yeah, that's your reputation and your legacy too.
Sure. Yeah. You know, what you do behind closed doors says a lot about who you are.
For sure.
Totally. And it's, I sacrifice my time all the time.
Yeah.
I got a barn full of things that don't work right now just because I'm everywhere else. I'm helping everybody else.
Yeah.
And that's just who I am.
Yeah. That's the cobbler's kids, right?
That's
The
correct.
story.
Yes.
That is what happens. It happens in every, I really think it happens in every profession.
Sure. Yeah.
In a way. Don't you think so?
Oh, no question.
Yeah.
Here's a question. Who's your ideal client?
Yeah, that's what I was
Who do you
wondering
want to like more of? If you could have one client that is the rest of your career, who would you pick?
First time home buyers. Yeah.
Oh, I love that.
It's,
Because they don't know what to ask,
yeah.
right? They don't know what they don't know.
They don't know.
Yeah.
And it's having them understand that the house is a living, breathing thing. Everything kind of works together. And when a house is vacant for a while, it loses that, that life that it has.
It needs to be used.
Yeah.
It needs to be functional.
And that house has to fit you one way or another, and it's just giving these people the facts that, okay, this is what's going to happen. This is where we are today, but this is what's going to happen because, you're buying someone else's home maintenance or lack of maintenance or this hodgepodge of DIY repairs, these flips and things, some of them are done good, some of them are done bad. But if they have everything they need and they understand it, but I like to get to know them too at the same time.
Right.
Do they not have any knowledge or tools?
Yeah.
Do they have a lot of knowledge or tools?
Right.
Do they have, I know a guy.
Yeah.
Type people.
So it's as much about the relationship as it is the inspection.
It is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That makes
Yeah.
sense.
Because I want them to call me again at 7 years,
Yes. Is that the average?
typically. Yeah, 5 to 7 years.
We are blowing the curve.
So one of the questions that I had was, if houses could talk, what do you think they would say about their owners? You kind of touched on that a little bit. It's kind of like, what kind of repair and maintenance do they do? Because it does tell you something about them, right?
It does. Yeah. Houses say a lot. They really do. And, when I'm going through a house, it's not just the visual inspection and everything else.
Yeah.
I'm listening, smelling. There's you're just trying to use all of your senses to try to figure stuff out, and in the first, 10 minutes, I'll turn the furnace on and I'll walk around the house.
Yeah.
And if it's quiet, I can still hear the furnace run during its time. And it'll give me clues on whether or not it's running right or anything else. So it's just those certain things. So the house talks to you. It does if you listen.
Now I'm starting to wonder
the
what
house whisperer.
what our house would be saying. Because I can think of one project where it's like, all right, I don't know how to do this, but this is what I'm going to do. It was like the Tim the Toolman Taylor thing. And we had moved the light in the dining room, right? So there was a big hole in that popcorn ceiling. And I thought, how am I going to get this plug? Because I had the plug. All I had to do is get the ceiling, the chunk back, and get it to stay.
Yeah.
And there was that popcorn junk, so you couldn't even see where the seam was. I used white toothpaste to get it to stay.
Okay.
It's still there
What
today.
does that say about this
And now
homeowner?
I just put a nice rim of that white toothpaste, and she stayed right up there.
She did stay right up there until we got the kitchen redone 2 years ago, and they
Then we had it
redid
fixed properly.
Yeah, they redid all of the ceiling,
worked.
so
It worked.
they fixed it. But that stayed up there for a very long
Oh,
time.
heck yeah. You didn't
Like
know.
15 or 16 years.
Yeah.
With white toothpaste. That's not advice that you're sharing.
No, I'm not suggesting.
Yeah.
I'm suggesting call the experts.
Yeah, exactly.
But I think a house kind of says, let me breathe.
Yeah.
Yeah. The house needs to breathe.
So do you open up your house often?
All the time.
Yeah, so do we.
Yeah.
In fact,
Ours is open now.
yeah, it's open now. I just
All the doors were open when I left. Sliding doors open. No, open.
Sure. Yeah,
Now, the good
open.
the good news is we're recording this right now, but it won't air for a while. So nobody in TV land knows that we're actually not home and our houses are open.
Well, there's people at my house.
Yeah.
There's always people at our house.
Yeah, we have guard dogs.
Yeah.
No, we don't.
Peacocks.
Yeah.
I wish we had peacocks. Okay, another question. If you could inspect any historical building in the world, Which one would you choose?
In the that's a
Yeah,
tough
like
question.
we could say the United States if that's easier. But I was, when I saw that question, I'm like, what?
Graceland.
Graceland?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, that's a great answer. Graham, that's a good answer.
Nobody's been on the second floor.
No.
No, that was Elvis's place.
Okay.
So, but
Nobody's been.
No, that's just the way he wanted to keep it. No one goes up there except to him or very few select people, and even after he's dead, from what I understand, no one goes up there. So I'd like to go up there.
That house ain't breathing.
No,
That house ain't breathing.
no, not at all. But
Graceland.
But,
That's
honestly,
a good one.
anything that's haunted. Yeah.
Okay, so that's another thing that I was wondering. Have you ever come across any of those kind of supernatural?
Yeah. I didn't, whether you believe it or don't believe it, it's you're either sensitive or you're not sensitive.
Yeah.
Right.
And when I was working at the Amber Rose, there were like tons of strange things.
Spiritual craziness.
Yeah. But there were stories, from the first day I worked there to the last day I worked there, I had incidences.
Really?
Yeah. So
Helpers?
Were they nice? Not so nice.
One, no.
Oh.
One
Okay.
was very mischievous, and another one was just she supposedly died in the attic because it used to be a general store in the mid 1800s.
Uh-huh.
And she lived in the attic, and she had a fire, and she died in the fire at a young age.
Got it.
Well, I went into the attic and pulled out my Zippo because there's no light up there, and I lit it. Zippos don't
It's a good
don't
flame.
blow out.
Right.
It's a good flame. So I went there just to get glasses, but I just lit it just to see where all the glasses were.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. And I did it
Oh,
again.
now I have
and it
goosebumps all
happened
over
again.
my body.
Yeah. That just, you just kind of go down the ladder.
Did you go back the other way again?
This is like the raccoon with
Worse
the
than the
babies.
raccoon?
I'm just like, not today.
Attics are not the place.
And, and Cindy didn't believe, well, she's never had experiences.
Yes.
Okay. And, she came in one day and it was like Saturday morning and I'm prepping in the kitchen and the radio was playing. And all of a sudden, Cindy comes around a corner, says hi, and then it went to static. And I said, Chickie, turn it back. And she looked at the radio, and you literally saw the dial turn. And she says, I am out of here. And she left.
Check, please.
You called the spirit by name.
Yeah.
Chickie?
Chickie, that was the name.
Chickie.
Yeah.
Do you know if that was the real name or that's just what you guys called?
That's just who that young girl was. And she was just, that's what all
and
she
she
did.
put the radio back.
Yeah.
Just being
And
mischievous.
Cindy, did Cindy ever come back?
Yeah, she came.
Okay.
She came back and she goes, I can't believe what I just saw. I was like, it happens all the time.
That is wild.
Yeah. But there was one time where it scared the crap out of me.
Yeah.
But it just, it was just
A
that
different
one.
time, a different episode. You want? It's up to you. We can always cut it out if not, but this intrigues me. Yeah.
Well, okay. So in the morning, there was always one person that came in to just kind of do certain things. But she got there at like 5 a.m.
Okay.
That was her schedule. And I would get there at like 6:37. And she's outside smoking and she is shaking. And I'm like, Sue, what's up? And she's like, someone's in this restaurant. And I said, ain't nobody in this restaurant, Sue. Yeah. So I go in there and when you walk into the back door, there's like an area to prep. You got the dishwasher and then the basement steps, and then you go into the kitchen.
Okay.
And I get by the basement and it's like hard on the door. And I'm like, oh my God. Now I went. And I was like,
There's somebody in there.
I was like, Sue, you're right.
What did you guys do? What did you guys do? Like, did you?
I went back in.
Okay.
Like a fool, But I mean, it happens all the time.
Yeah.
And Joe, pretty big guy. He was a defensive lineman for Bowling Green.
Oh, wow.
So he's a big dude. You don't let Joe get mad.
Yeah.
Okay. If he says he's going to call
a
you
wall
a name,
of Joe.
he's going to call you a name and tell you to get back to work.
Yeah.
And that's it. So I said, I got to go back in.
Yeah.
So I went down the basement. Nobody's there. And I'm like, okay. So I go walk back out.
Yeah.
And so Brett's like, Sue, nobody's here. Went through everything. So we both go out to the kitchen or to the dining room to go get coffee, water, whatever we're getting. And the porter from the previous day always leaves the bathroom doors open.
Okay.
To let airflow, because mop clean and everything else. And not so much. We're sitting there pouring coffee and tea. These doors slam. And I don't think my feet hit the floor. 'Cause we're just hovering both of them out the door, and we stayed out there till Joe got there, and he called us names, told us to get back in there, this and that. And I was like, Joe, you don't understand. He goes, I don't care.
Yeah.
This is
So
not
he
the day.
wasn't sensitive to this at all. Did this spirit just leave him
sensitive.
alone?
He wasn't sensitive to your feelings. Okay, that's all. Like,
And all you
he
had to
knew
do was
about
be
it.
faster than Sue.
Yeah. Yes. But yeah, that was the one time I really was
Wow.
frightened.
Yeah.
Frightened. But any other time, it was just, it is what it is. But I can feel certain things in certain houses.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm sure that there's lots that
Hairs
gets
back on your neck,
left
stand up,
behind. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
get cold spots, hot spots. You get the thermal imager out. I haven't caught anything.
Oh, you do get
Yeah.
the thermal imager?
Oh yeah.
Oh, my
Well,
gosh,
I do it
that's
at
so
every
fun.
house just
Yeah.
because it's helpful to find, pests, termites, and
Okay.
mold problems,
Who you gonna
moisture
call?
problems, and stuff like that. Yeah. But I've never come across it.
So do you ever list any of that in a report? Like it's so...
It's not
No, you
facts.
couldn't. Yeah.
It's not
Yeah.
facts.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mrs. Jones, I'm not going to
Yeah.
write this down.
Yeah.
Don't buy this out.
It's one of those. It's kind of like the coaching thing. I'm not
Yeah.
going to solicit.
Yeah.
Yes.
But if they ask, hey, is this
Yeah.
place haunted? Well, I'll be truthful to them in
Yeah.
what I feel. But I said, but it's not factful.
Right.
I said, you make your own judgment.
Sure.
But,
Yeah. Maybe they'll leave.
It's a friendly ghost.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do people ask you?
They do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is that a
especially old
common
houses.
question?
With old houses.
Yeah.
Yeah, they do. Yeah. And it's usually the people that are like sensitive, that they've
Yes.
sensed something. So they'll ask the question, but typically people don't if they don't.
They might have already
sensitivity.
sensed something going
It could
through.
be a bargaining chip,
Yeah.
though. You know what? This is haunted. We're going to take some money off our offer.
Yeah, but it's one of the real estate agencies has that on their thing. It says gorgeous, beautiful. It says not haunted.
What?
Those are the ones. Those are the ones I'm like. Do you know for
Spirit-free.
sure?
Okay, I have one more question. What's your go-to tool that you can't live without during an inspection?
Flashlight.
Flashlight.
Yep.
That's
guess.
Pretty basic and simple, but
Yeah.
yeah, I can't do it without it.
Right.
Yep.
Yep.
Nooks and
Makes sense.
crannies.
Nooks and crannies.
Because that shows flaws. Like when you take a light and shine it up against a flat surface, you
Yeah.
can see the flaws. So that'll pick up, your termite tubes that could possibly be inside the walls. Any kind of peeling paint.
Oh, from water?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep. Or old repairs.
Okay.
So,
That makes sense.
yep. But can't go without it.
Yeah.
I have 4 of them all the time.
4 flashlights on you all
All the time.
Are they all the same size?
Pretty much. They all have the same lumens.
Okay.
Buy a couple small ones and this and that, but those typically don't come out of the bag. Those are like, oh, crap, I forgot to plug them in.
Yeah. Yeah.
So how many lumens does a person need for a flashlight?
2,000.
2,000?
Yeah, that's a real good number.
Flashlights, babe.
But usually 500 is your typical run of the mill.
Typical one?
Yeah. But 2,000 are the real bright ones.
Okay. Anything else you can think of that listeners or viewers might need to know when hiring an inspector?
When hiring an inspector, we're all the same, but we're all different. A lot of people, this is the one thing that really doesn't really get me in the butt, but it makes me wonder sometimes. They're always looking for the cheapest price. Yeah. Okay. You are spending
that makes-
hundreds of thousands of dollars.
Right.
We're all the same, but we're all a little different.
Yeah.
If you're looking for the cheapest guy, then don't expect so much out of them.
Amen.
Okay. There's a reason for that.
Yep.
I'm not the highest guy, I'm not the lowest guy. I'm right in the middle. I'm not going to gouge you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I can tell you he does a phenomenal
Yeah.
job.
Yeah.
Absolutely phenomenal.
It is funny how many people shop on price, though.
It is. And I'll tell them up front. They'll say, what's your quote?
Yeah.
It's right on the website.
Yeah.
And the other thing now is reviews.
Oh, it's right
do
on
people
the-
do reviews for you?
They do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I've had so many people call about, oh, you got 5-star reviews. It's like,
Yeah.
well, yeah, I don't think we're
Yeah.
going to match.
I'm not too worried about it.
Right.
And I've been misrepresented by a few.
Yes.
They
And
think-
that's when reviews are terrible because you can't do anything about it. You can't give a rebuttal.
Can't
You
rebuttal.
can't explain why they were going to,
Right.
not be fair in their
yeah.
5 stars.
Yeah.
I don't like that. And so how else can they find you then?
What's the best way for people to locate you for hire?
I think I'm everywhere.
I think you're everywhere
I think
too.
I'm everywhere.
So Graham will pop your website on there. And are you on social media at all? Like, do you have a Facebook, Instagram? Kind of? Okay.
Facebook page.
Okay.
Not on Instagram, Twitter, or any of those other little
Okay.
media things.
Yep.
Don't have time for those things.
You don't.
Yeah.
It would be kind of,
Yeah.
Some of those TikToks could be kind of fun as a home inspector,
I'm working on it. I've got a few.
Yeah,
you know, but it's just, you know, it's kind of finding that one, it's a generic house.
Yeah.
Because I feel funny about videoing myself inside a house, someone else's house, but I don't have their permission to do so.
Mm-hmm.
So I know other people do it. Whatever, that's fine with them. But yeah, usually a lot of times I'll just be walking in my yard and talking about something, you know, just because. But if I see something and there's a way that I can do it where it's not their house, where I'll wait a long period of time, like 6 months before I post it.
Oh, that's a good idea.
So, you know, so I'm just accumulating those videos before we can, you know, let them air out.
Well, I see you being a sensation, like a real sensation, REEL. I mean, I think that with your personality and everything, it would be really fun to see some of your shorts.
Because one of those things was, I think your daughter, troubleshooting a water problem.
Water thing,
Yes.
Yeah,
Which
she had multiple people come
2 or
out.
3 plumbers and
Thank you for bringing that up. Yes, please tell what happened, because that was crazy.
So she texted me and said she's had multiple people come out. They have a water problem. That It's getting in their basement. They don't know if it's a foundation issue, a plumbing issue. They don't know. And so I went out there and just kind of, you know, trying to diagnose a few things and found some water in the basement. But it was like new, but it was old. It was really strange. And I'm like, okay, is it, because I've come across things where people have hung a picture up and they hit a drain pipe in the wall, you know, put a big long screw in there and hit that. And, you know, so but I was like, okay, it doesn't stink. You know, it doesn't, you know, I was like, that's not it. It's not a supply line. So if it were a supply line, it'd be this constant thing going on.
Where it was flowing all the time.
Right.
Okay.
So it was kind of one of those things of being in the right place at the right time. One of the kids came up and got water out of the refrigerator.
which was above you because you were in the basement.
Right. I was down below, and he hit the ice maker, and all this water started coming out.
Oh,
and I was
my gosh.
Bingo.
Oh, interesting. So I'm like, but it was because I was like, okay, because they have two air handlers, one above, one below. So I was upstairs. Is it in the condensate line or the drain line coming down? So I was really trying to trigger something that no one else could see.
Yeah.
And then I started focusing on the refrigerator because doing a couple measurements, I'm like, it's right there.
Yeah.
It's a refrigerator. I know it's a refrigerator.
Oh my gosh.
So sure enough,
And then one of the boys hit the water thing. And
started gushing.
shower.
And I was there and I went, okay,
Shower time.
what just happened? Yeah.
That
So
is
I get
what,
up.
but really, I mean, she had so many, she had, I think,
Right.
at least 3 different people.
Right.
A basement person, sewage person, the furnace person.
Yeah.
I mean, there were a bunch of people.
Yeah.
And then here comes Tony.
Yep.
Just
with his 4 flashlights.
with
That's about what it was.
Found it.
found the clues and put it all together, and it was resolved. It's amazing. And that's all. I don't know if you did this or not, but you just disconnected.
Just shut the water valve off and just disconnected the water line. That was it. It was the refrigerator itself was actually the problem.
Right. Yeah. But amazing. And, you should have been the first call. That's what it made me
thank
think.
you.
It's like from now on, those
Right.
types of situations, it's
Right.
like we need to have, hire Tony to come in and take a
just
peek.
a third eye. We're not trying to get money out of anything or try to get different jobs and stuff like that. It's just, non-biased.
Well, but your
But
philosophy on
diagnosing
that
it.
yeah, that's
is good. You know
Yeah.
what? You're putting out good vibes and good things come back.
That's
Yeah.
correct.
And that's a great way to
amazing.
live.
Yeah, it is a great way to live.
Yep.
Yep.
I'm so glad you were here with us today, Tony.
Thanks for having
This
me.
is so good.
Yeah.
I just really appreciate it. Do you want to close it up, babe, with
How we
your
gonna do it?
famous saying?
Well, if you like what you're seeing, hearing, or in this case, tasting, smelling, observing, flashlighting, if you like what you got going, smash that subscribe button.
Woohoo! Yes, help us get to 500 subscribers so we can give away this beautiful basket.
Well, that's right. We've got a
appreciate it.
giveaway thing, which we keep accumulating things
Yes,
for.
I know, and
it's
everybody's
growing.
been sharing really good
Good
ideas
feedback.
for.
Some restaurant people,
Yep.
some somebody said
Honey, local honey.
local
Yeah.
product. Good.
Yeah,
So
just keep
that's
adding
going to
to it.
happen.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you so much, Tony.
You're so welcome. Thanks for having me.
All
Yeah.
right.
Thank you.
Yay!
See you next time.
Bye.